Hello, in this video we're going to explore some ways to customize your unattended in ControlPro. For you to be able to customize or access your settings in ControlPro, you must be signed in as an administrator. To check and see if you are signed in as administrator, you can come over to this little symbol here that says change role or hit F12 on your keyboard and that'll bring up your access role. As we can see here, we're currently signed in as a user. As a default, when we set up your instance of ControlPro, you are set up as an administrator. You may choose to decide that whoever logs into ControlPro is signed in as a user. That is up to you. But for us to be able to access the settings, we need to select administrator and put in our password. The default password for administrator is 12345. So we'll go ahead and enter, and now we'll be able to bring up our settings. To look at our unattended settings, we need to go into local, and you'll see this tab over here that states unattended. We can see here it displays our systems that will pop up if we open up our unattended systems window as displayed here. We're going to go back to our settings screen to exit. Again, the default, just like the admin password, is 12345. Hit enter, and we're back here to our home screen and settings screen. If you want to change this, if you wanted this system to be on the right, this system would be on the left, all you'd have to do is just manually input the number and hit enter, and ControlPro will change that for you. There are a few settings here that we recommend you do not alter or mess with, one of them being the screen resolution. When we set up this instance, we make sure we have it set up to the best resolution for the monitor that you are using. If you wish to change that, that's up to you, but again, we recommend just keeping this where it is. Gate opener system, ticket register, and status register are all set by MEI, and altering them may affect the functionality of your system, so we strongly recommend not messing with those. So one of the first things we'll look at that you can customize here is the allowable batch increase. The allowable batch increase percentage can allow a driver to over-deliver a percentage of a product. This percentage can be modified based on your preferences. It could be set to 0% if you do not want any over-delivery. If you do want to set up a little bit of flexibility, you could increase it a little bit higher if you wish, or lower. To edit it, you simply just have to come in and fill out the number in the field that you wish the percentage to be to and hit the update. And now that allowable batch has been updated to your preference. The batch timeout is useful if, say, a driver runs a batch and has completed it, but for whatever reason the driver forgets to complete the ticket, they drive off without completing the ticket, you can set a time for the batch to time out and complete itself. Now most PLCs already have a batch timeout set, which the default is 10 minutes, so keep that in mind before you decide to do an edit in here, that there already is one set. As you can see, when we go to select it, the 10 minutes is there. So again, it's your preference if you wish to change that or not, but just know that default, it is already set to 10 minutes. So something else we can set in the settings screen for your unattended is a few different identification options. If you want the driver to have to input an ID, if you need to track a equipment ID or customer ID, if you prefer to track all of those, a couple of those, just one, you can see the check boxes here for those options. But before we start clicking those, I want to show you here in the unattended screen. You can see here the driver, equipment, and customer. Because we currently do not have those checked, they're automatically checked in here and validated since we're not going to be putting those items. Here we just have the ticket number and that's it. We input that and then that validates the ticket, as we can see there by the check mark. So let's go back to our settings screen. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now say you want the driver to input an ID. Just a reminder, the driver's ID would be one of these here, depending on who the driver is, they would input this ID and that would get them their green check mark. Same with if you're wanting to track their truck, or if it's a tote or some other piece of equipment, you just go ahead and click this and that will allow you to track the equipment. Same thing with the customer. Click this, you can click the customer. If you're requiring a driver's signature, we'd want to click this checkbox, and after the driver's input the information, it will request a signature. If you prefer that the driver doesn't have to sign each time, you can click quick signature, and ControlPro will save their most current signature in the system. That way they can put in all their information and then just check that yes, that is their signature, and keep going through with delivery. So we'll go ahead and check these boxes and then go to our unattended. And as you can see, I've already filled out the information. As you fill this out, it will, if you get to the final number, it'll autofill any of the equipment you might have in here. So be mindful that the driver or whoever's entering the information is entering the correct information so that you're able to track the accurate equipment, driver, customer, ticket, what have you. We'll go ahead and process this ticket to the unattended, and you'll notice I'm running it in simulation mode so that we're not turning on any automation, and that's going to complete, and there you have it. Something else we can select here if we wish is to require an attribute, another identifying factor, if you will. Here, there's several options. Let's go ahead and just go with the farm name. Go ahead and update that. So as you can see, farm name is now available as an option for tracking as well. We'll go ahead and exit back out of here. Again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those are some of the options available to you if you want to customize some of the user interface with your unattended. If you have any questions on modifying your unattended system, or would like to possibly schedule some training on going over some of these, please feel free to contact Murray Equipment at 260-480-1340. Thank you.